This is a movie about two brothers. The film opens up with one brother sitting on a couch talking to an interviewer. This is Dickie Ecklund, played by an almost unrecognizable Christian Bale. He twitches in his seat, rambling in front of the camera, heaping praise on his younger brother, Mickey Ward. In walks Ward, played by Mark Wahlberg. The film then starts as we jump back to a less happy time in both brothers' lives. I walked into this movie expecting somewhat of a Rocky story, with Mickey turning from a nobody into a somebody through rigorous exercising, meanwhile getting a girlfriend on the way and showing his town that he can succeed. There's a bit of that in every sports movie, to be honest. But the film doesn't just focus on Mickey, but also his relationship with his family. And holy crap, what a family. 7 sisters as a support group, an older brother who serves as a trainer, a mother who serves as a manager, and a father who can barely voice his own opinion in this whole crowd because everyone else is talking over him. It's no wonder Mickey feels smothered. Problem is, growing up in your older brother's shadow, as well as living with a mother who doesn't realize that her older son is a crack addict, well, Mickey doesn't have the guts to break from his family, at least not without some outside help. 3 of the people that end up pushing Mickey to go that extra mile are his father George, his girlfriend Charlene, and Mickey O'Keefe, one of his trainers, who in the film was played by the real person. The film follows Mickey as he proceeds to break his family ties, trying to come to terms with what's best for him. Meanwhile, his brother and his mother are lost in an illusion that revolves around Dickie's supposed comeback to boxing, and a small film crew follows them around. But the problem comes when the family forgets what the film will be about. Dickie is holding his brother back, and if you've seen the trailer, you'll know there are many reasons why Charlene urges Mickey to break ties with his former trainer. The film was going to be directed by Darren Aronofsky, who ended up backing out to make Black Swan instead. The director of this film is David O. Russell, and this is the first film of his that I've seen, to be honest. The real reason I got interested in this film, however, was Christian Bale. Terminator Salvation aside, I'm a big fan of Bale's work. The man is so dedicated to his craft that he'll put his life in danger for the sake of realism and method acting. Standing at about 1.83 meters, Bale went from a reasonable 180 pounds to a skeletal 120 for his performance in The Machinist, a psychological thriller well worth watching. His next role was Bruce Wayne in Batman Begins, for which he jumped to over 200 pounds before losing some weight to settle at a muscular 190 pounds. You'd think this roller coaster diet would prove too much, but no. In between his Batman roles, Bale's dropped vast amounts of weight, only to get it all back to play The Dark Knight again. And now, finally, he's being seriously considered for an Oscar nomination. In my opinion, it's long overdue. As a point of interest, Dickie Ecklund upstages Mickey in much the same way he did in real life. He lives on past glories, thrives on attention, and doesn't realize that he's spinning completely out of control. Next to Bale, Wahlberg's Mickey isn't anything spectacular. I mean, certainly it's a good performance, and Wahlberg went to amazing lengths to gain a boxer's physique, but so much of the performance has been done before. He ends up losing much of the spotlight to the supporting roles in the film. And for good reason. We get the renowned actress Melissa Leo as his domineering mother, who, just like Dickie, is delusional about her motives and whether she's the right person to be Mickey's manager. We also get a brilliant performance by Amy Adams as a college dropout and barmaid who at times shows more guts than Mickey when she has to face down an angry rabble of Mickey's family members who deride her as, and I quote, a slut, and as they put it, an MTV girl. And as tough as Charlene is, she's also very warm-hearted. An interesting thing I noticed in the film was the scene where they first start talking. Mickey's talking about how he wants to stop being a stepping stone, and a guy sitting next to him makes a crack at his chances of winning a match. But it isn't until the guy disrespects Charlene that Mickey gets physical. He's quicker to defend her than defend himself. And this relationship builds as the movie progresses. Thanks to the screenplay and the actors, it feels like a genuine relationship where each person cares enough about the other to speak up for them sooner than speak up for themselves. The Fighter has gotten a lot of attention from the Golden Globes, and for good reason. It's a solid film. Unfortunately, it's not a great film. The sound department, in their struggle for realism, makes a lot of the dialogue hard to hear over other people talking, the soundtrack, or other such noises. And unless you're aware of Mickey Ward's story, you'll be confused as to when the film takes place, because no dates are given, not even for the boxing matches. However, the main characters are fleshed out by very talented actors in a plot that brings us to a boxing match where you flinch with every punch thrown, and you feel for a guy who had to struggle to find his inner confidence, and an older brother who needs to realize that he has to stop thinking about what's best for him before he can start thinking about what's best for Mickey.
Sweet as could be. It only took a couple of days, don't you was rid of me.